Happy New Year, everyone. 2022 is off and running, and I can't wait to have an amazing year with all of you, my clients, everyone who watches this show, and everyone who contributes to the Q&A Sunday community. On today's episode of Q&A Sunday, we're going to dive into a few issues that come up during a transaction for FHA concerns. So stick around. That's what we're going to cover today. Again, Happy New Year, but let's dive into common FHA items that come up during a transaction. First and foremost, the number one deal killer for an FHA loan is mold. If there's going to be mold in a house, that is going to be a giant red flag that is going to need to either be remediated or it's going to need to be repaired prior to ever even putting in your offer and getting it to that appraiser and making sure that that is, all gone. Water issues. Now, water issues come up in a few different ways. Water can be standing water in your yard or water issues against your foundation. FHA is mainly concerned with water against the foundation because that's what could cause a problem with the house. Now, if it's been dry and it hasn't rained for 5 or 6, 7 days, and there is a standing water puddle that should not be in our yard, they may also flag something like that. But primarily, they are looking for water against the foundation or negative grading towards the foundation, which would cause water to run to the foundation. Another issue that comes up a lot with FHA requirements are private road maintenance agreements. Now, conventional loans have just passed a rule or a regulation that says private road maintenance agreements are not necessary. But if you're buying a house and you're an FHA buyer and you have a house that's on a private road, and what that means is it is not maintained by the city, the state, a borough, township, anything like that. It is a private road. There's maybe 2, 3, 10, 15 houses on this road, but it is all maintained privately by the owners. That could be a giant red flag for FHA because you are going to need a private road maintenance agreement. Now, a lot of times those are already in place. And if you're looking at a house, we will guide you to say, yes, we reached out to the other agent, we've looked at it, we know that the private road maintenance agreement exists, or we will tell you that that is a step that we are going to have to take to get everybody to sign off on a private road maintenance agreement. And if one person doesn't want to sign, that could stop your loan from going through. Another one, encroachments need to be either recorded or they need to be fixed. So an encroachment is when your property goes onto the neighbor's property, like if your shed was put on, just like that, just slightly off instead of right there, that could be an issue. Or your neighbor's fence or shed is slightly onto your property. That is what is an encroachment. And those either need to be recorded in the deed or it needs to be fixed. And fixed means physically pick up the shed and move it or whatever is encroaching on the property. If it's a driveway, it can be, busted up and turn, most of the time what would happen is we would have it recorded and then you would be fine. Lead-based paint. That is always an issue when it comes to FHA. If there's peeling paint on a house, that's just one of those things. FHA is really big on lead-based paint. Now, one of the common misconceptions is people say that it's really expensive to test for lead-based paint. And one of the solutions, rather than having somebody go in there, scrape all the paint off, paint it over and make sure that it's nice and pretty, then you got to clean up all the paint chips as well, because you're not allowed to have the paint chips on the ground because that's just as bad as it being on the house. Yeah, go figure. But it's only $25 per room roughly to get lead-based paint tested, and if you test it and it's not lead-based paint, you don't need to peel or scrape, peel and paint. The solution would just be to test it. Now, the problem you're going to run into is the testers, the people who do the testing, are few and far between, and they're usually backed up. So it may be a delay in your closing. So sometimes it is easier just to scrape, peel, and paint, but that is another solution. One of the other things, when the inspector goes out and the appraiser goes and says this roof is at the end of its lifetime, it needs to have at least 2 years on its life left. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to pass for an FHA loan. Last but certainly not least, bedrooms. Bedrooms. What makes a bedroom? It needs to have a window, a door, and a closet. But with FHA, it also needs to have a heat source. So that is another one that sometimes will catch you. Not too often in this area because we get cold winters, so there's not too many people who are trying to claim bedrooms that don't have a heat source. And then last, again, just something totally aside, you can only have one FHA loan at a time. So if you have an FHA loan and you're looking to buy another house, you would need to sell in order to buy, in order to do another FHA loan. I hope those were some helpful tips about what could come up during an FHA appraisal and inspection transaction. If you have any questions about the FHA process, the lending process, the buying process, reach out to me, reach out to someone on the team. My number is 412-965-6387, and hope you have a fantastic 2022. Look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.